Mayor Eric Adams of New York City, he's gone from, hey, we're a sanctuary city, you betcha, send them on through, send them on up to us, to the city we knew we're about to lose. And he gets emotional. I had a meeting a couple of days ago, and boy, he was just, he was all worked up about what the crazy lunatic governor of Texas has been doing. Sending about 10,000 illegal asylum seekers every month. We're going to get into it. Here we go. The grandstanding that we're seeing by Mayor of New York City, it's like, where did you expect these people to go? You're a self-described asylum, sanctuary city. Where did you think these people were going to go? Were they miraculously going to come through the southern border and then go somewhere else? I mean, Eric Adams says New York City's migrant crisis will destroy the Big Apple, as he warns 10,000 illegal asylum seekers every month will flood each of the 5 boroughs. The city we knew we're about to lose. I was reading a news story yesterday about the impact of the illegal asylum seekers coming through and how that's going to impact New York City's school system. And oftentimes the teachers wouldn't know how many students they're going to have until the first day of school. First day of school being, I think they just had it. So you're like, I know teachers prepare, they prepare all summer. All right, I'm going to have this many students. Yeah, you try and figure out, okay, you show up and all right, I got an extra 10 kids here, whatever it might be. And that just rocks your boat. I mean, you've done all this prep work for, okay, I'm going to be able to handle this. No, you got to take on a bunch more. Mayor Eric Adams is torn into the migrant crisis, crippling the Big Apple, which he warned will destroy the city without urgent action. What did you think would happen? Where did you think these folks were going to go? They go somewhere. They're coming into the U.S. because whatever they left behind them. And now we're finding out that they're coming from Russia. They're coming from Russia. Not all of them, but just in general, right? You're like, okay, So, and the real issue is, why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? I mean, the normal immigration process takes forever, thousands and thousands of dollars if you do it legit style. The way you're supposed to. Why would you do that? Why would you spend all that money? Just go right up to the southern border. It's open. It's mostly open, right? Got that whole Greg Abbott deal where he's got the barriers out on the river, and sometimes they're on the Mexico side, but who cares? He's just trying to slow things down so his state doesn't, take that massive impact that they've been taking for years. And now all of a sudden, New York City is feeling that impact and like, we're going to destroy the city. And I'm just thinking, where did you think this was going to go? I mean, seriously, what a hypocrite, right? Let me tell you something, New Yorkers, never in my life have I had a problem that I didn't see an ending to. I don't see an ending to this. No Sherlock. Seriously, no Sherlock, right? And this is what the folks on the southern border have been saying for years. Hey, they're coming across by the thousands. And then we're told by the current administration, no, it's mostly secure. It's pretty secure. And then we're going to sick Kamala Harris on it, and she's going to do absolutely nothing. Can you imagine she actually became our president? Good Lord, what a train wreck that would be. Hey, let's play a little video. What do you say? Play a little video. Let's see the indignation from New York City's mayor. Everything he says is accurate. It's just the position that he comes from is so messed up because it's like, this has been going on for years. What did you expect?
We turned this city around in 20 months. And then what happened? Started with a madman down in Texas, decided he wanted to bus people up to New York City. 110,000 migrants. We have to feed, clothe, house, educate the children, wash their laundry sheets, give them everything they need, health care. And this team here We stated, let's do everything possible before we have to push it out into neighborhoods and communities. Month after month, I stood up and I said, this is going to come to a neighborhood near you. Well, we're here. We're here. We're getting no support on this national crisis, and we're receiving no support. And let me tell you something, New Yorkers. Never in my life have I had a problem that I did not see an ending to. I don't see an ending to this. I don't see an ending to this. This issue will destroy New York City. Destroy New York City. We're getting 10,000 migrants a month. One time we were just getting Venezuela. Now we're getting Ecuador. Now we're getting Russian speaking coming through Mexico. Now we're getting Western Africa. Now we're getting people from all over the globe have made their minds up that they're going to come through the southern part of the border and come into New York City. And everyone is saying it's New York City's problem. Every community in this city is going to be impacted. We got a $12 billion deficit that we're going to have to cut. Every service in this city is going to be impacted. All of us. And so I say to you, as I turn it over to you, this is some of the most educated, some of the most.
All right. And he goes on to talk a bunch of nonsense about his people. And it's just a bunch of crazy crap, right? I mean, in such a short period of time, we've gone to, we're going to try and help out our fellow man as best we can. And we're a sanctuary city, and therefore we'll take, well, with the way that New York City has their, basically their unhoused or their homeless deal set up, they have to provide housing. They have to provide housing. It's illegal for them not to. So they've basically just, by making themselves a sanctuary city, they've cut their own throat. And now they're whining about it. What I wanted to do is I wanted to, do you know what this is? This is the world's smallest, tiny little violin that I'm playing for you, Mr. Mayor. Tiny, tiny violin that I'm playing you a really sad song on, because that's all you deserve. What do you think would happen? I mean, this isn't rocket science. You bring thousands of people in, it's mostly open. And they're going to come in because whatever it is that they're leaving, whatever situation they're leaving, it is way worse than what they're coming to in America, right? Yeah. The left always wants to rag on America. Far left, they just want to destroy America, right? And, with this in-migration, they're doing a pretty good job. Because you can't have immigration policy just completely lacking, because all these folks are going to require services. They're all going to require money to get set up, housing, food, schools, healthcare. I mean, you can't be a sanctuary city and bring them in and then just not service them. Yeah, it just wasn't a good call. Shouldn't have done it. Sorry, folks. You got to go back. Nah, the governors on the southern states, they've been trying to keep folks from inundating their local towns that have just been overrun. So it's like, this is just, a couple of years later, this is normal. This is what happens when you have an open border policy. The former top cop grew emotional as he talked about buses of migrants arriving on a near daily basis, with over 10,000 arriving every month. Yeah. And other cities are getting them too. They are. And they're being spread out wherever they can be. The most efficient bus rides, they're being spread out. Upwards of 110,000 are littered across the metro, and Adams' office has estimated the issue will cost New York City $12 billion over 3 years. Meanwhile, all these cities, because their downtown cores got the whole work from home thing, and office buildings aren't generating the tax revenue that they once were, you got a big budget deficit, and this impacts all those cities in the negative for sure. I mean, you got to have money to run all these folks. So where's that money going to come from? Especially when you've already got a deficit from your previously relied upon tax sources, and you don't have that anymore. It's not there. You know, your tax revenue from your commercial buildings, from excise tax, from sales taking place, and just businesses in general, you got a big deficit. Now you're adding more expenses to that. And that's what he's talking about. He's like, oh God, this isn't going to work out well in my favor. This isn't going to be good. So, you know, you've only got XYZ amount of resources to spread around. And what is this going to do for the homeless population in New York City? I mean, what happens to them? I mean, so we're no longer taking care of America's homeless population. We're going to deal with everybody else's who knows what population. Yeah. I mean, we don't know who these folks are that are coming in. They could be, you know, I know President Trump always goes with, oh, they're emptying out the prisons, but you know, that could be, we don't know. Because you're not doing any background check. Come on in, Sanctuary City. Yep, you betcha. There's the line for that one, right? I mean, I one of my news stories recently was the city council in Los Angeles was trying to figure out if Greg Abbott had done something illegal because he was sending some illegal immigrants on a bus, 23-hour bus ride into the storm, into the hurricane that Los Angeles had, right? Which was basically just every day during the winter here in Seattle. You got some rain, a little bit of wind. It's, you know, not hurricane conditions, but they were trying to figure out, you know, he's just doing terrible. No, these people coming from wherever situation they're coming from, whether it's Venezuela or Ecuador or Russia, little storm in America. Hey, yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it all day long, right? Here's another interesting fact that the illegal immigrants now comprise over half of the total of the homeless population. So massive demand on resources, right? Those people literally don't have anywhere to go. Coming into the country, no job, you know, don't have the ability to work. They're working for cash. They're doing whatever. I mean, what a cluster. And so if you're a sanctuary city, how did you not see that coming? Oh, I mean, we wanted to help out some people, but 10,000 a month? Good Lord. Who knew that many were coming? How many have gone through the border at Arizona? How many have gone through the border in Texas? I mean, how many? Thousands, millions, right? And he's whining about 10,000 a month. Get it together, man. I mean, these numbers, these aren't tough numbers to figure out. They got to go somewhere. So you're going to get a big share because, you know, you've squawked about being a sanctuary city and how you're going to take care of this. You can take care of this. You can handle it. And now there's all these news stories about, well, they're sleeping outside. And where was it? I think it was Chicago. At a big, it was at the airport. They've got a big area quadrant off with a massive curtain. Cause we don't want to see the illegal immigrants. We're kind of posting them up there because we don't have anywhere else to do it. So we're just going to put them right there and, you know, hope that nobody pulls the curtain back and sees what's going on. Which is you've just let a whole bunch of people in that you shouldn't. This open border thing is it's an ongoing cluster. It's not even a future cluster. It's just happening right now. And then this yokel right here is just whining incessantly. He's like, it's destroying. Well, some would say that the open border policy is destroying the country. Oh, because it's not just New York City, right? How many other cities are accepting, you know, the illegal immigrants? A ton, because they're being shipped all over, right? But so many of them get sent to the Midwest and then get sent up to New York, and some are coming to California. In Staten Island, a former Catholic school has become the epicenter of the borough's fury, as the influx as several protests have been staged at the campus where a 300-bed site has been set up. So these areas don't have resources to take care of their own people. Their own people are like, you're already a citizen. Don't care if you're homeless. We got to take care of these guys who just came in illegally across the border. You guys that may or may not have paid your taxes over the years. No, you guys are host. We got to take care of these. We don't know who they are, but we got to take care of these folks, right? I mean, it's just absolutely mind boggling. And then to have, to have these leaders go, what are we doing here? Mayor declared a state of emergency in the fall and has repeatedly labeled the deluge as a humanitarian crisis. Yes, it's been a humanitarian crisis at the southern border for years. Period. You got to do something. Oh, but now that it's hitting New York City, we have to do something? We talked about being a sanctuary city, but we really meant that more as a set of guidelines for how we identify the reality of us actually housing all these people and feeding all these people, and providing schooling and everything that goes along with just people in general, healthcare. Oh, good Lord. That's not going to work out. It's going to cost the city in the region of $12 billion in just that's going to break the budget. We didn't sign up for that. Actually, you did. You said you self-identified as a sanctuary city. Maybe you should self-identify as something else, right? Maybe get out of this little scenario. No, there's no doing that. You can't do that, right? So I find it very entertaining, the pressure that's being put on the White House right now, or the attempt at pressure. Because how long is this going to go on for? How long is this going to go on for? I mean, yeah. In Chicago, residents were stunned to find a police precinct had been turned into a shelter in May. They've run out of public spaces for these folks because that's what happens when you just, let them in. There's a finite amount of resources and everybody gets that. Anybody who runs a business gets that. With these leaders who run these sanctuary cities, you're just like, okay, you have absolutely no common sense here. Or maybe you have common sense and maybe you're just, this is your political speak of how to handle this. Good Lord, we got a budget. I got to get up there and do a big speech and I got to get a little emotional. I got to get kind of fiery here and I need to really rock some boats because man, this ain't working out. I don't know what we're going to do. I know we said sanctuary city, but come on, man. So crazy. Problems at the southern border were significantly escalated when Title 42, a pandemic-era border policy that gave officials advanced powers to detain people, ended in May. Didn't see that one coming, did we? Oh, more people are coming through? Huh. Wow. Oof. That's not good. This isn't going to work out. I mean, the numbers alone from October 21 to August 2022, that number stood at 150,000 people. 150,000 people. I mean, as well as the unprecedented numbers of asylum seekers flooding over the border, the reason New York has been hit so dramatically is also down to busloads of migrants being sent by frustrated southern states. Well, where else are they going to send them? Plus, you said you were a sanctuary city. So this isn't, you don't have to be a rocket science to figure this out. All right, they're going to take them. Well, you guys get on a bus and we'll ship you there. How much in resources is Texas and Arizona? How much are they spending for these effing bus rides? Shouldn't have to be doing any of this. You should have a border policy that doesn't allow folks to just willy-nilly come across and, kind of like that last president we had where we had that wall going up, right? At least that was a deterrent, unlike what we've got going on now. The Kamala Harris thing, I mean, what a joke. All right, we're going to put you on the southern border. And what does she do? It's mostly good. Or she did basically nothing, right? Imagine if she became the leader of the free world. Oof, that laugh of hers. And you're like, okay, this woman is just, she has no right doing any kind of leadership whatsoever. And then her word salads are just like, just a bunch of words, right? Abbott has said that the move is due to a need to bring the issue to the spotlight. No kidding, right? But officials claim Texas is far better equipped and has far more resources to deal with the influx than the Big Apple. How's that? I mean, what are they going to do? which city are they going to send them to? That is just incorrect, right? As well as the buses, many migrants have also made their own way to New York City. Everybody wants to go to New York City because, back in the day, when America was first basically developed, it was all immigrants, right? So they're like, all right, they're set up for this. You got all these communities that can handle different communities from all over the world coming in. People want to be there. They can figure out how to get to where they, their own little country within New York City. Whereas in Texas, not as much. You got US and you got Mexico, right? I mean, those are your big communities there. Abbott's handling of the migrant crisis in his own state took a major hit this week. However, as a judge ordered him to remove a floating barrier, that whole thing's going back and forth. And I wouldn't be surprised if Texas just said, you know what? Here's to your little order there. We're going to keep doing it. I mean, who's going to be down there actually checking all this stuff, right? I mean, it's just nuts. The large buoys were placed on the river over the summer by Abbott's administration as part of the Republicans' escalating attempts to stop immigrants. This is what should be done on the federal level, period. Federal government should be handling this because that's what you do. You got to keep those borders secure. You just can't have people come in willy-nilly. And that's not how this works. So many things are dependent upon a system in place. And we haven't had a legit system in place for years, right? But the last few years have been particularly bad because the minute Biden won that election, folks are like, all right, here we go. It's go time, folks. Let's get those plans together. And then we had a little slowdown during the Title 42 deal. But from everything I've seen, numbers are still there. They are still just pouring across the mostly closed border. So how's this going to go? What is going to happen here? How does this end up? What is the next direction? And because a lot of pressure being placed, right? A lot of pressure. You're going to hear from more and more, not only governors of other states, but more mayors squawking, just like Eric here, who is just like, it's ruining our good city. We just got it back under control after the pandemic. And now this happens. Well, what'd you think was going to happen? Where did you think this was going? That's the thing that's just flabbergasting to me. Well, we didn't really mean that you send them on buses to our community. I mean, we wanted a handful. We wanted a couple of dozen so we could point and look and say, hey, look at the great job we're doing as a sanctuary city. We love our fellow human being. Come on down and we'll take care of you. Went from that to you're destroying the city, within how many months? 20 months, something like that. How long has this been going on? Has this been a year? That, is this, I think it's probably around, is it a year that Greg Abbott's been doing that? And then Arizona's been doing the same thing. All right, put them on a bus, send them out. And Florida doing the same thing. I always leave out Florida, but they've been doing the same thing for a long time as well because they don't have the resources to handle it. So spread the love around. That's the way I see it. You're spreading the love around to cities that have self-identified. We will take the folks that you can't handle. And so that is happening. And then they squawk and you're like, what right do you have to squawk? This is what you wanted. This is what you called for. And now that it's happening, oh yeah, that's not good. It's like one of my next podcasts is going to be a bunch of elected officials, including the district attorney in Portland. They're going to go on a little field trip at $2,500 a pop per person to Portugal because Portland's Measure 110, which decriminalized possession of drugs, it's not working out that well. In fact, you've got a massive escalation of drug use in Portland. So they want to go to Portugal. They're going to take a field trip to Portugal and go, what happened? Why is Portland doing so bad and Portugal's doing really good? Well, in Portugal, drug usage is on the steady upswing because when you decriminalize stuff like that, people are going to do it. And the problem with Portland is state of Oregon has the worst drug addiction facilities and admittance to drug facilities addiction services in the United States. In the United States, they're dead last. So when you legalize something, and my point here is what did you expect would happen? Oh gosh, this is not working out. Yeah. Dear Mr. President, we need your help up here in New York City because we're just getting inundated. And like the mayor of New York City says, I don't see how this is going to end. Well, it's not going to until you have some border policy change. And I don't see that happening anytime soon. So good luck with that there, buddy. Scream all you want. But, yeah, this is what you wanted. Now you got it. It's kind of like Portland. This is what you wanted. This is what you voted in. Now you got it. And you're like, oh God, that didn't work out well. What happened? Good Lord, what are we going to do here? What are we going to do? Better figure it out like an adult, right? Figure it out like an adult and move on. But you're not going to do that because that's not what these folks are doing. They just want to squawk about stuff. And I can't believe that didn't work. It's not working. Well, really? Huh? Could have told you that up front, right? Could have told you that. And we did. Somebody of us did. It's like, all right, get out the popcorn. Let's see how this one's going to go. It's not going to go well, but it's going to be entertaining. And now we're listening to the mayor of New York City. It's going to ruin the city. Yeah. Imagine that. Shocking. Right? All right. That's all I got for you on this one. This is ongoing. I mean, this is ongoing. This is so ridiculous. It's just, I mean, it's stupid, right? This is stupid. Doesn't have to be this way, but it is. So expect podcasts for days on this topic. All right. Thanks for being here. Catch up with you in the next one. Bye for now.